Step number one is always, instead of starting a business immediately, go find somebody to shadow in that industry that is a killer and work for them for 18 to 36 months. And then you'll see how they negotiate, how they are behind closed doors, how they lose their cool, how they handle conflicts, how they get into, the arguments, the negotiation, all of this stuff. And then you'll say, I want to go do X, Y, Z within this industry. There's too many people that just want to go out there and start a business. For me, like if I want to learn how to, get a podcast going, I would be better off working for you for 6 months and seeing what the whole crew here is setting up.
And it's not all about seeing what we do right either, is it? It's all about seeing what we do wrong and taking note of that, because obviously that's where an advantage can come in business.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Almost everybody I know that won at the highest level, they'll typically go to somebody they were able to shadow and see what that person did. And that'll give you, I think, an edge over everybody else that kind of will go out there and, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, they'll fail, they'll lose their money, and then they'll come back, have to get a job, and then they'll do it again. Instead, go find a killer, work with them, 2 to 3 years, and then decide what you want to do. Now, step 2 is, if you've increased your value so much with the individual, go ask for equity and ask how you can get piece of the company. That person may say no, yes, maybe. So no, great, then go somewhere else. Yes, great, you got your shares. Maybe, what are the parameters? I'm willing to give it to you if you do X, Y, Z over the next 18 to 36 months.
And get that written down then.
And you get that written down and then go execute and say, here's what I did. You told me this and I'm emailing you this. Our conversation was this, Do you confirm? Yes. Let me get to work. You get to work and then you get to ask. Capitalism, we just had a conversation right now with somebody. We're negotiating a deal to bring them into our podcast studio. And capitalism is all about you having leverage in negotiation and your argument based on the results that you get, because that makes it a very easy negotiation. Negotiation is hard when you don't have the moral authority to ask. But if you got the moral authority to ask, the other person doesn't want to lose you. The other person needs you. The other person sees what kind of work you've done for them. They're like, no, we got to figure out a way to keep this person.
And they're always billing your time for a lot more than they're paying you. So you know you're worth more.
That's right. So bring the value, then make the ask. Then if they push back, deliver on what they're doing. Step 3 is how big you think at this point. Step 3 for me is, at what scale do you want to go? Are you going because you see yourself as a right-hand guy? Are you a person that's a support? Because in every endeavor, you have the support side, you have the lead side, okay? So the support side, you're the COO of the CEO. You're the chief sales officer of the CEO founder. You're the CFO. You're the director of marketing. You're the CMO, whatever role that is. Or you're their top salesperson. You're doing biz dev. And then that's the role that you're playing. If your ambitions are, I don't ever want to be a CEO. I don't want to be a founder. I don't want the responsibilities of that. No problem. You found your home. You know what your position is and play there to the best of your abilities. And there's a lot of money to be made. If you're looking at a company, now the challenge with this is the following. I had a guy that's working for this law firm, and he's a killer. I love this guy. His name is Bobby from Glendale. He's working for this killer. And the challenge with the guy he's working for is every year that guy would take cash off the table as the law firm would make money. Say he made $7 million, takes $7 million, puts it in his pocket, pays the taxes, done deal. I asked him at Fleming's at a restaurant in California. I said, so what's the vision of the CEO of this law firm? What do you mean? I said, what is the vision of the CEO of the law firm? There is no vision.
He just wants to pocket the profit.
He just wants to take the profits. I said, then why are you there? What are you doing? You're wasting your time. Do you have a vision? I do have a vision. You can't have your vision become a reality working for somebody that doesn't have a vision.
Yeah.
You have to decide how big you want to go. Is the place you're at allowing you to go to as big as you want to go? If not, you have to reposition. So either go be the alpha or recruit a business partner to go start a business together with them, but you have a decision to be making there.
And it's quite hard, isn't it? Because it's a really hard decision to leave somewhere that's comfortable. But it's very rare that you hear of someone actually downgrading when they move. They're generally going for a better wage, a better position. Very rare that it's the other way.
Right.
Should aspiring entrepreneurs follow their passion or follow the money?
I think, again, it's sequencing. And here's what I mean by it. For example, for me, passion. I love baseball cards. Love baseball cards.
You've done quite well on a hockey card, I believe, in your past.
Yes. I love baseball cards. I bought a Wayne Gretzky card for $540, 2 cards, and I sold it 18 months later for $2.2 million.
It's amazing,
and
isn't it?
I own millions of dollars of cards today, and I'm in love with it. And I love movies. Today I'm talking to Robert Downey Jr. He FaceTimes me in the middle of the podcast. Weird guy to FaceTime you in the middle of the podcast when you're talking to Chris Cuomo. And I'm telling him, I'm like, do you know what movie we watch every Christmas? He says, what? I said, The Judge. Him and Robert Duvall. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I've not seen that one.
If you've not seen it, you and your son have to watch it together. It's very emotional. You and your son. You guys got to watch it together. That's that magical. You'll see when you watch this, you'll message me and say, Pat, thank you for this. It's that incredible. So I told him it's my favorite movie to watch. Now, there's a few other movies about him, but I love movies. I watched Napoleon the other day. I was so disgusted, so annoyed. How dare you waste a year of Joaquin Phoenix to make that shitty of a movie of a character that complicated where not a single time in 3 hours you made me want to cry? How do you make 3 hour, 2 hours and 45-minute movie where I don't want to cry a single time? I'm only angry because you're annoying me because you made a bad movie. It's like a documentary. It's nothing like a Gladiator. Anyways, I love movies. I love entertainment. I love Hollywood. But when I went and sat down with the acting coach of Will Smith and J-Lo in LA, his name was Aaron Spicer. My wife got this hour thing with him for a gift for me. It's like 17 years ago. And I said, look, man, I'm doing insurance. I make a lot of money. And I'm not going to say this publicly, but I want to be an actor. Okay. And he's like, let me get this straight. You're an insurance executive. I said, I'm doing very well, but I'm willing to quit insurance because I want to be a full-time actor. And he says, how do you do with idle time? I said, I don't do good.
Yeah, it's very difficult, isn't it? I think most people in business find idle time really hard. I mean, I nip out and do things that my son criticizes me for. Like I'll sit on the mower and go around and do a bit of mowing, go and tinker in the garage or whatever it happens to be. I've got to be doing something.
See, because we're artists.
Yeah. And when I was on set, I did a lot of work for a film called Black Hawk Down, which was a Ridley Scott film. Yeah, I flew the model helicopters on it. And the idle time is so frustrating. It's actually unbearable. You have to go and find something to do.
Didn't Ridley Scott do Napoleon?
He may have done. I don't know.
Did Ridley Scott? Can somebody see if Ridley Scott?
It may well have been.
Scott did Ridley.
I know he did Gladiator just before we did Black Hawk Down.
Let me see if he did. Did he do Napoleon? He did Napoleon.
There you go.
He did Napoleon.
So he didn't do a good enough job for you.
It was horrible. I got to tell you. And he's known as being great. No, but so he tells me, he says, how do you do with idle time? I said, not very well. He said, well, the problem about being an actor is you're not working 7-8 months out of the year. And he says, I don't know if I recommend it for you. And I'm sitting there, and I'll never forget, my wife is sitting next to me, says, you could be a very good movie producer. You could fund the movies. You can make the movies. You can build a production house. But as an actor, your personality or wiring, I don't know if I recommend it for you.
So that's a case of if you followed your passion, you couldn't make any money.
Bingo. Yes. So right there I said, here's what I want to do. Do you like gambling or no?
Occasionally.
Do you like horse races? Like what kind of
gambling? Not really. If I gamble, it'd be a bit of blackjack or a bit of roulette.
So I lost everything I had one night on blackjack, and I went to my credit card, and I pulled out $5,000 of the cash I had on my MBNA and all my credit cards, and I lost it that night. I was $49,000 in debt. That's the last time I played. I'm like, I'm done. But I like gambling with money I am very comfortable losing. So they asked Walt Disney, they criticized him. Him and Enzo got the same criticism. They said, Walt, you only make movies because you want to make money. They told Enzo, you only race cars because you want to make money. Both of them, their answer was, I make money so I can make movies. And Enzo said, I make money so I can race cars, right? I'm making money right now so I can fund my passion. And my passion is going to be entertainment for the next 40 years. The only person that's going to fire me is going to be God. That's it. So the reason why I chose this route is because if you go passion first, then you have to be a professional beggar. I don't like begging. You have to beg people for money because sometimes passion is like, whatever.